Hello, beautiful people. I was hoping I wouldn't be late because YouTube kept keeping me waiting for a connection. But anyway, I thought of doing just a little bit of fun stuff. Little pumpkins, little things. And what can I say? Otherwise, it has been a little bit difficult for me because I am now like 2 months from my change of um, dose, and I'm still having the same problems. Hi, Sharon. But I called my doctor and they cannot see me before my appointment in November, so I guess I have to just be surrendered to the fact that I have to sleep 14 hours a day, the least. Hi, Emmy. But, trying to catch up with stuff, it's like I never managed to catch up with it. So, I'm going to start with some tiny little pumpkins. I know we did little pumpkins a lot, but it's always fun. So, I just made actually I should make this a little bit smaller. We start with the bead core. And this can be used as earrings. And of course you can make them smaller, you can make them larger, it's entirely up to you. And then now, while I'm working on this, I'm going to give you a few other ideas. A lot of times, I have to be very honest, a lot of times I am doing Halloween stuff, not this year because sleeping problems, but a lot of times I've been doing all kinds of little Halloween things just because they are cute, not with any actual real purpose. I mean, not earrings, not jewelry, not decoration, because itty bitty things cannot be a decoration, right? Well, today we are going to make fun stuff, little cute little things that hopefully can be used for things. So I'm going to start with making a string, actually not a string, something between a sausage and a string. And going again to the what does that mean? You talk about sausage, you talk about string. I think it's been a couple years since I talked about that. Yeah, it is so frustrating. It's like, what kind of a life is this? I'm sleeping my life away. In all my life, I never liked sleeping, okay? And now I am cursed to do it. What can I say? Anyway, so getting back to what I was talking about, I didn't lose my train of thought. That's excellent. Thank you. So, what is a sausage? What is a snake? What is a string? Sausage is anything that's like between, let's say, 3/4 of an inch and about half an inch. A snake, no, not half an inch. Let's say like, okay, when it starts being this thick, that is a snake. And a string is anything that's from yarn thickness to sewing thread thickness. Okay? So, I'm going to kind of sort of measure. Has to be a little bit shorter than going from the one end of your bead to the other end, and you'll see in a second why shorter. And I'm going to cut them, kind of eyeballing. I don't know if you notice, but I do a lot of eyeballing. And they don't even have to be all even, because natural pumpkins are not all, unless they are cloned. And if you ask what is cloned, well, there are some things that have been genetically modified to look all the same. And not genetically modified, actually, I misspoke. They've been selected, you know, it's not a... Hi, Anna, long time no see. They are selective breeding, let's say, pretty much. Okay, I didn't mess up. These are too short. Let's go again. That are selective breeding chosen so that they will all look the same. That's what I call photocopy of themselves. Like you see how you see all the tomatoes in a package look the same. Okay, so it should be here. So unless they are that type of pumpkin, and actually we're gonna cut them in two so they wouldn't be too big. But first you need to wedge the ends, taper them, not wedge, taper. And they are not, all pumpkins are not perfect. And I'm going to make it a little bit different than normal. I know I made a lot of kawaii pumpkins during the years, but this one we're gonna try and make it not kawaii but more Halloweenish. They could have been even thicker than this. It's a good thing when you put them in the proper cut. Might have made them a little bit too thin, but oh well. Yeah, and also I had yesterday, there was a pretty heavy work day because I had to get, we have the, we have the bulk trash every quarter, and unfortunately I completely forgot the one for last quarter, so I had a whole bunch of branches in my driveway that needed to be moved, first cut, because things cannot be longer than 6 foot, and they had to be cut. I have a neighbor who helps me, and then get them ready to be moved, because also you cannot put stuff to the curb more than 24 hours before pickup time, so it was a little bit difficult, but I wish I had money. As much as I love my whipping willow, I wish I had money to cut it down, because it starts being so much work with the drought we get over summers, because it's the drought seems to be a recurring phenomenon in the last decade or so. And the drought over the summer and the winds we get in spring with the tornadic storms, and then the cold we get in winter, because you know we have ice storms, and sometimes it is colder in Oklahoma than it is in Alaska or even at the North Pole. And then when it starts shedding leaves, there's so much to rake that even with everything, I think I'd rather not have it anymore. I know it sounds horrible, and I'm a tree lover. As you know, I'm a generally plant lover. But it's getting too much for this poor old woman. I know, a lot of you are older than me and don't complain as much. But yes, you are completely correct. By the way, I've been watching your stuff on Facebook, and it looks cool. It looks really pretty. Okay, I didn't cut this right. So there we go. It's a pumpkin. Okay, one thing that I need to do first, and I'm going to use quite a bit of chalk pastels for this. Let me grab my chalk pastels and grab some wax paper. And my other thing is that if I don't drink NyQuil before I by, let's say, 9 o'clock, 9:30, I cannot sleep at night, and then I am completely wiped up for the day. And when I say I cannot sleep at night, I fall asleep, but then I wake up at anywhere between 2 and 3 a.m. and I cannot go back to sleep until like 6 or 7. And trust me, within those 2-3 hours of being awake, I cannot really do much. You know, it's not a... Okay, so I'm going to first grab something that is slightly darker than my pumpkin. And if you're asking me where can you get this specific set, it's not available anymore. I think they went out of business or something. Okay, I'm going to... But there are other sets, and you can find them in my Amazon Influencer store as recommendations. The only thing that you need to remember when you buy chalk pastels is that you want soft. And you want to get in the in-betweens the most. Of course, you can just leave it like this. It's fine. You don't have to go through all this. But as I said, just in case you want to make it a little bit more unusual, and I'm going to grab a little bit of more reddish, but just a pinch. But yeah, I've had this set for, I think it's like almost 20 years now. And as you can see, the only thing I seem to run out of is the white. And I'm going to get this on the bottom the most. There we go. Then for my next one, I'm going to need a little bit of a thinner brush. This is not a brush. This is a brush. And I'm going to use black. I know it sounds ominous, but we're gonna make an ominous pumpkin. Get this out of the way. And remember my thing, I always put things out of the way even if I might need them later, because I don't want to topple them. Okay, and with my smaller brush, I'm going to find where I would want to do this. I'm gonna do this here. To make about where the eyes would be. Hey, I made the mess. Okay, my next thing is to make eyes, right? And for that I need a little bit of white. I don't have white issues, I have black issues right now. I'm gonna have to order some. So I'm going to make 2 little balls of white. They have to be very small. Hi Elaine, sorry I wasn't watching the... Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't use Scalpy at all, and if you've watched my okay, it got a little bit contaminated. There we go. Alcohol is the answer. Okay, now be very careful what I'm doing. I'm going to grab 2 little itty bitty blacks. And thank you so much. Well, I wouldn't be able to tell you. But if you're sure that you're doing your settings are not made for kids, They shouldn't be able to get in. And you know, you can always block them. You want them to be in the same, kinda in the same position. And I think I made them a little bit too big, but I did make them a little bit too big. I don't recommend that you do what I'm doing right now, but I don't want to go back to making them from scratch again. And it's going to be just fine. Okay. And then what you need to do is to make them angry. This is going to be a little bit cross-eyed. Well, and then just a touch of bacon bond, because otherwise it will not stick. I know I had a toothpick here, but it disappeared. Because you want to do it only on the little spots. Because you know, polymer clay does not stick to powder stuff. Okay, my hands are not in perfect shape yet, because I still had to do some stuff out in the garden today as well. And then it's going to be the fall cleaning in the garden, so that's even more work. And I don't need to tell you how well, you need to report them and block them, because you can always do that. Come on. Of course it had to go. They are not perfect, but you get the idea of what needs to be done here. And you want them to be... Maybe I should have made those black dots a little bit bigger, but You get the idea. And then we're gonna give it a downwards smile, a grumpy smile. This is too big. Hey. And there we go, we have a very grumpy pumpkin. And let's give it a little bit of a stem as well. So what I have here is just some mix of I put together green and orange, and I just didn't mix them completely, and I stacked them. So I'm simply making it a little bit rounder, and then taper it a little bit. And of course, if you make it an earring, you're gonna put a nice screw through here. And there you go. Let me zoom it in so you can see it better. But yeah, you can do it just simple, but I am telling you the chalk pastels will give it an extra oomph. And you can see he's very upset, the grumpy pumpkin. And I'm going to make another one and try to be a little bit faster. So I'm going to make it bigger, make for it bigger sections. So all I have to do is to just make them thicker, more towards the sausage size than the snake size. And we are going to make a, yeah, it needs a hug. Okay, let me go back to non-zoomed. And this will be my core. Let me wipe my hands of this black, because I don't want to contaminate further. It's my thing with working with bare hands, not, and trust me, I have gloves, I have finger guards, I have yeah. Primo, I would, Primo and Kato are not imported. Primo is made in the US, so you shouldn't have any issues with it. You can also use souffle, which is a great clay, only it won't be shiny. But you can use souffle and look for sales. And we are going to make a surprised Pikachu pumpkin. You know the saying, surprised Pikachu face. Okay, so I'm gonna go about this long. I think I don't need more than 4 sections. Yeah, Pardo and Cernit are going to be more expensive because of the tariffs. And probably even the the crappy Chinese clays you can get on Amazon are going to be more expensive now, also because of the tariffs. But Primo and Soufflé should be the same, pretty much. Well, they might get more expensive because some of the components or the ingredients might be Did you try the larger sizes? Because they make them in different sizes. I know that for a fact because I had to get the, not the smallest, but fairly small ones. And also, as I aged, my fingers have gotten fatter. Okay, so I'm going to make it the same kind of stuff. I don't need to have them connect on top. They do need to connect on the bottom because on top we are going to put the stem. Normally I use nitrile gloves because they seem to my hands don't seem to sweat as much in nitrile. Normally my hands don't sweat, but I noticed when I'm using gloves, they do. Okay, so this is a little bit of a fatter one, as you can see, compared to this one. It's got fatter stuff. And yeah, I'm going to use again but this time it's going to be cutesy stuff, not grumpy. So I'm going to use a more reddish stuff here. You can use a cinnamon or whatever you have. It doesn't really matter at this point. But I just want to make it look a little bit and then I'm going to use a again a brownish part for the bottom. But then for the where the eyes will be, oh, I got my fingers messed up. So careful what you do. That's why it's better to wear finger cuts, because dust doesn't affect them so much. Alrighty, and then I'm going to use some reddish for the cheeks. I know pumpkins don't have cheeks, do they? Okay, so let's see which side do I want. I'm going to get them here, and it's a good thing if you use the not the bottom of the handle of the paintbrush, but the actual brush. So, okay, this was not a good thing. I didn't clean the brush, see? Stuff that can happen. So I'm going to make it reddish here. And then because I don't want to mess up the eyes, so they'd be proper surprised Pikachu, I'm going to first clean my hands. And then grab a little bit of black and a little bit of white. Where's my other white? And there we go. And of course you don't have to wear a little little quantities, not bigger quantities. And I did contaminate it, but as I said before, as I'm sitting on the chair and it gets, my back starts hurting. I tend to make mistakes. Okay, here's my glasses. At least one thing that didn't happen, so it might be because of the whole fatigue thing not being super. Okay, I don't like this one. I'm gonna cut another one. Because I'm sleeping so much I didn't have a fibro flare since I started Ozempic. So I guess that's a good thing. You're most welcome. Okay, now let's grab another little piece of bacon bond. Where's my so-called red? I guess here. And I'm also struggling with Finnegan because even if he's much better now, he still cries. And I guess it's because he's getting bored, because with Connor was a playful cat even if he was older. While Seamus, all he does all day is sleep, eat, poop, and drink water. And Finnegan is still a fairly young cat, not that young though. He turned 6, but still he's fairly young, and he's still very playful, and he has no playing buddy anymore. And at my age and with my health issues, I'm not going to get another cat. Okay, now let's grab a little bit of black and make it a little bit of a mouth. And you want it to be fairly oval. And we can even make it a little couple eyebrows. But they have to be very, very thin. And again, these would make wonderful earrings, and you don't even have to make both earrings the same. You can make a grumpy one and a cute one, and I'd refer you to former. I know that I put them all in a playlist on my channel. If you want to go with cute, there are like at least 2 formal lives with kawaii Halloween stuff. Okay. Let's make it a stem as well. And again with one part flattened and the other one and there you go. Just surprised little. Yeah, I hear you about the grumpiness. I have the same issue. So let me get them both. Oh, you stay there. This one doesn't want to stay on its side. So I can zoom them. Well, I have my all my litter boxes, they are put up, so I don't have to bend too much. Okay, so there we go. Here are the two. The surprised one and the grumpy one. I honestly like the grumpy one the best. But you can try and do that. So I hope you have fun, and I hope that my whole sleepy thing gets resolved and I can do more polymer clay, because I'm trying, but I'm telling you, it's like I've been bit by a tsetse fly, because it happens that I eat and I fall asleep while I'm eating. So it's not something that's, and if I do stuff and I sit, that's it. Yeah, I know. Okay, so I'm sorry for lost kitties, and I know that they never go away and the grief is always there. Maybe not as strong as before, and believe me, I still cry for my Connor. And I still miss him, but it's only been like, what, a month and a half. So I will see you next Sunday, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and hopefully I'll be able to work some more on stuff this coming week. Okay? Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful week and a lot of health. And don't forget to thumbs up. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe. See you next Sunday. Bye.